Hello everyone, so today I have the latest kit from Simon Says Stamp Card Kit of the month, and I would like to open it first, and if you want to skip ahead, I'll put some time stamps in the description so that there can be chapters. We see this first large item is, I love their mesh bags. They're really high quality, thick, nice zipper, and I don't always use them to store the kit, though you can. Everything fits in here from the large paper down to everything else, but I find that, you know, sometimes I don't want to store my kit that way, so yeah, they make a good use for other things as well. We have a little lollipop here. I got watermelon. Oh, these are so cute. So on top, oh, and then I have, what is this? Just an advertising card. I love how they use all the colors in there. So this kit, I decided to get, let me go in with the paper, because usually the deciding factor is, am I going to use it? Are the things I don't already have? If there are too many things that I do have, I usually skip it. So there are some interesting things in this kit. Here is the inspiration card, or paper rather, and it has all of the contents down below. It is called Celestial Wishes. I'm going to pull that aside. Looks like we have 2 pieces of the Neenah Solar White 110-pound cardstock. I'm going to use these to make card bases, I think. And we'll set this aside. Then this cute thing, I'm going to save for a minute. We have, let's look at the stamp set, why not, because I want to talk about the die too. Here's the stamp set, and it's called Celestial Wishes as well. It's got some nice, I like the font here, and I don't really have another, I have these sentiments and other stamps, but I don't think I have anything in that kind of font. We have this beautiful starburst here. I think you can use that again and again on cards. I'm sure I have circles, but this coordinates. I like these branches. I think they're useful also. And then these are cute. These are intriguing. I don't know if I have ideas for using them. They're like little gem shapes. And then this little corner thing. Yeah. And so this die coordinates with this starburst somehow. You know, you have to lay it on just right. I'll figure that out. But I love it when there's a coordinating die because that's a really good value. Let's see, we have one little envelope. We have, oh yes, this little emboss and cut folder. I don't know if I've had an emboss and cut folder before. This is intriguing, and so that was kind of the reason I'm like, okay, I want to try that. It's kind of small for you know, card, A2 size card, although it just kind of fit just perfectly right there. So I'm not really sure if I'm gonna like this or not, but it's a new to me kind of thing. This is interesting. So it's got like the die in there, and then it feels like a foam. Let me know in the comments. Have you used an emboss and cut die before? What do you think? Love, hate, you know, ambivalent? Share in the thoughts. And then these were another reason I wanted to get the kit. Beautiful, well, what am I trying to say? They're beautiful, versatile. I love that word, versatile, but they look like a watercolor wash. All the beauty and complexity of watercolor without any of the mess and any of the effort even, although I do love to do watercolor also, but for card making, you know, this is just faster. Just put it that way, unless of course you've already done the watercoloring. I like it. Doesn't mean I'm gonna stop watercoloring. Look at that color. It's like a rich plum eggplant color. Ooh. Okay, my favorite colors are turquoise and purple. This is a little more green, but wow. And this kind of purple, like a deep purple. Those are, so I'll probably be using that if I can find something to do with it, a card. Now these are just adorable. I have a weakness for tiny things. Does anyone else? you know, share in the comments. Is that something where you just like, you know, I heard about recently Trader Joe's had these mini bags that went wild, and you know, I saw it, and thankfully my Trader Joe's hasn't had them when I've been there, because I probably would buy it. It's inexpensive. I don't know what I would use it for, but it's just so stinking cute. Now this is a little more practical than the Trader Joe's mini tote bag thing, at least for me, because this is going to fit really well in my space, and you can do some ink blending on a smaller scale. I really like these. I'm glad they came out with them. And you get 2 extra foam toppers, and so maybe these, I'll like them for my use. Like, I do a lot of you know, what do you call it? Inking the edges of things, and sometimes those tiny shapes are just really difficult. So this is great, and I was pretty excited about that when I saw that. I love these little 1-inch ink cubes also, because I have only so much space and I have a lot of interests, my friends. And so these fit in a smaller footprint, and I love that about them. You can have more colors in a smaller space. And then we have some Warm Tones Dazzling Gems. These are just fun to dress up the cards. The last card kit I got, I think there were more cool tones, and so now we have the warm side. So now it's time, now that you've seen the contents, let's make some cards and see what we can do with this kit. For the first card, as I said, I made card bases out of the nice 110-pound Neenah Solar White cardstock. This one I made top folding, so that's the base. And then I've taken this lovely pattern piece with the purples. This is the other side. And we're going to make a background here and put this on here for the card. So we're going to need the stamps. And I'm going to take, this starry one and the 2 crystal gem like stamps, and do some kind of random stamping. I'm going to use some Versamark ink, and I have this Shimmering Pearl. It's kind of a clear with glitter embossing powder sample that I think I'm going to use for the stars, so they're going to be subtle in the background. So maybe I'll speed that part up, or just show. Alright, and hopefully this will show up. I'm going to get nice and close here. You can see it's a subtle look with the stars, but that's what I wanted, because this is just the background paper and it's already got color. Now I'm going to add some gems here, and I have a little swatch booklet. This is a great tip if you have a bunch of random ink pads but not a full set of any. And I thought the closest color I had in my collection to this lovely piece, which is coming later, is a Memento Elderberry. So I dug that out. This cute little fella here. And these are great because they fit in small spaces, just like these ones. So I am going to take this larger gem first and kind of fill some of the bigger gaps with this elderberry ink here. I want to make sure I get it nice and inked up. I have a little scrap here. Looks pretty decent. So let's see, there's a big gap here. Let's just go in. And I'm just going to do a few of these. Look how nice that is to bring in. And it's good if you're doing this kind of random background thing to rotate and get different angles. Bring in my scrap paper again, because another tip on that is to go right off the edge with your stamp, so it looks like it's kind of all over. So here I'm going to flip this around kind of backwards, and it's coming off that end. And you're looking for just a balance. So, and I think that's pretty subjective, you know, but if you've got them all on one side and none over here, that would not be super balanced. I think that's kind of obvious, but you know, so like when one person decides, oh right, that's it, it's done, it's balanced, may not be the same for everyone. I'm not necessarily going over my embossing, but I could. I might end up doing that. And also a pleasing number is odds. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. maybe I should call it quits for now. I'm going to take the smaller gem and put it on this end. Let me just make sure I don't have residual ink on there. And then I'm going to fill in with the smaller gem, and I can always go back with the bigger one if I think it needs a little more. So I'm kind of just rotating it. You get the idea. It's a slightly different shape there. I went over my embossing, and it's okay. It kind of needs something up here, so let's just give it a little hint that something's happening up there. And let me try this guy's coming in here. Kind of did the same angle there, but that's okay. So this one's probably going to be covered up anyway because my other thing's going right in the middle. So if you want to save yourself effort too, you can also, you know, put whatever piece is going on. And looking at it this way, I don't know, I feel like maybe it needs just a little hint of, whoops, that's the wrong one. Well, I guess we'll just go with that one, huh? Because I inked that one right there. Let's get it a little more. Gotta go with the flow here. And something maybe the tip of this one coming off this side. I think that's pretty good. Alright, and that is our background, but we're going to put this over it. So I think that's good for now. We can go ahead and take some adhesive and put it on. Okay, so here's our background on the card, and now it's time to finish this part of the card. I am going to use some white pigment ink, I think, on this part, and we're going to use the Happy Birthday stamp, which I need to figure out what I did with it, and I might try to use this little stamp also. Let's see how that goes. I'm afraid I'm going to ruin it, so alright, we need a little, let me see. So for this one, I think it'll look weird with the little, this part. So I'm going to try to do some selective stamping here. We're just trying to get these lines in the dot. Just need a little scrap of, not scrap, a little towel. I'm sorry if I sound funny, I just got back from the dentist and I'm a little numb still. It's a little wonky, but good enough. And then I want to do another one in the other corner. That one's a little better. I could have stamped this twice, but I was afraid of misaligning it, so I think I want to pop this up a little bit. So this I want to put on centered. And I think that's as good as I'm going to get. Finally, I think I will put some gems on. So I've picked out a few here, and let's put 2 down here. I've got the largest one in this pinky purple. Oh, that was way too much glue. That's okay. And then the smallest one in the pinky purple. And I'm going to put 3 little blobs up here. And we will go with the smallest size. And then these ones are inconveniently on the wrong way. 2 of the medium sized. Now that's got to take a minute to dry, but we can have a close-up look while it's not quite dry. And look how beautiful this little birthday card is. Lots of shimmer and shine, and it's pretty simple. You have a little bit of dimension. Alright, for card number 2, we're starting again with the card base I made from the 110-pound cardstock. This time it is side folding. Side folding, but this orientation. I don't know what I'm saying. And then I have this lovely piece of pattern paper that I have cut down to cover the entire card front. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Imperfectly perfect. There we go. So for this one, I'm going to do an ink blended panel here. So I have this little piece of white. And I did try it with the, I have this from a previous Simon Says stamp kit, which is so handy for holding the little mini ink pads. These guys are a little tough to get their cap off, and then I have my little ink blenders. I'm just going to use a little scrap to show you that with these guys, how, you know, of course now it's looking pretty subtle, but I ended up deciding to use some brushes on this panel because this is a real sloppy example here, but with the daubers you get a stronger color payout. So this is a very sloppy job, but do you see how bright that is? And then let's just flip it over, grab a couple brushes. These are ones that I got off Amazon a long time ago that I don't even know. They might have been makeup brushes, but you know, they're similar. You get a very much softer look. It's a lot slower building up the color there. And this terracotta color is a very, and for some reason I have to do it this way. I'm right-handed, so I'm just going to flip mine because, you know, that's what works. Gotta go, rather than fighting my hand mechanics. Okay, so here's your example. This is the softer look, and you can get that with brushes. This is sort of a stronger color. For this background here, I just wanted that softer look. So let's see what we have with the brushes here. So here is the first one I did, and I messed up the stamping, but this is a look of what we're going for here. Miss You, and then I've layered the branches, but this was just too bright for what I wanted for this card. So let's see how it goes with the more subtle look. Let's go and stamp that now, and I'm still gonna do black. So I have it in here. Alright, there's no going back now, so I hope I have it the way I want it. You know, I changed my mind so much. Let's see what we got here. Lift. This is so annoying, it moved. So I think I'm just gonna do the single stamp, but look at that. There's some kind of small defect, little dot on my stamp, but you know what? I like it. Here, have a look. Not bad. Subtle. Do we want to pop it up or do it flat? I like dimension. I'm going to go ahead and add some foam tape since I have it right here. Let's do that. So again, I want this centered. I think that's pretty good. And I can finish it off with a few gems. That looks about equidistant. I'm gonna go with a red one here, an orange one on this side. These are the largest. And a yellow right in the center. And I'm gonna add a couple tiny, the smallest one, right in between there. So red next to the orange, and orange next to the red. Make sure I get them relatively evenly distributed. These are so shimmery and so lovely. Let's have a close-up look here. Beautiful. For the third card, I have again this white cardstock that was in the kit. This is side folding. This time we're going to have it in the portrait orientation. And this beautiful pattern paper, it's the dark blue on this side. I'm going to use this side and glue this down. I have a little 1/4 inch white border all around the edge. So let me go ahead and do that. It's a beautiful start. This card, I decided to use the Cut and Emboss folder, and I cut this out of this green shaded pattern paper. You can see there, and I've got it popped up on some foam tape. I'm going to put this kind of over here, but I wanted a background there, so I toyed with a couple things, like I ink blended and cut out it again just to get the center, but I thought I'm not confident in my placement, so I took this pattern paper that already has those colors, and then I just used this one as a stencil to add just a little bit extra in the background there. So I think I'm going to place this down first, but before I do that, I thought it would be cool to add, let me figure out where everything goes. So I'm going to use this as a template, and I kind of want to add a little moon in there. Maybe, you know, maybe just peeking out. And I was thinking, hopefully I have enough of my little sample shimmery one. I was thinking the moon should be shimmery. So I'm going to get, I need a block. Here we go. Get this moon on here. Oh, and I should prep it for sure. Let's prep it with some anti-static powder. Lay this back over. Get my Versamark. Nice and sticky. Of course you're moving. It doesn't have to be perfect. The thing I keep telling myself. I want much of the moon and maybe just a piece of it hiding. Alright, that's on. Oh, it's so shimmery. We need to melt that. Here we are with the embossed moon. Now, if you didn't have the shimmery embossing powder, you could certainly do this with clear. The Versamark will give you kind of a watermark look, or if you have some other pigment ink in a light color, that works too. So I want to figure out my placement and just glue this down flat because it's my background there. I want it equidistant on the sides, but maybe a little closer to the top so that I have room. I'm going to leave room for my sentiment. That looks like enough room there. My paper got a little warped by my heating gun, so I used a generous amount of adhesive on here. And there we go. Not looking like much yet, but never fear, there's more to be done. I think that it's safe at this point to put our cut and embossed shape here down. So let's take all this stuff off. Alright, going straight overhead here. That does not look too bad, not too shabby. Kind of cute. I have just a white scrap here. And then this piece that has the kind of orange and red, I'm going to use this side. And I am going to stamp right onto it. We have, let's move the moon. We have the moth. And what did I have? A sentiment, sending you good vibes. I think, and I haven't tried this out, so I hope it works out, I think I'm going to do it in the terracotta. Wish me luck. I only have the one scrap, so it better go well. These are, what is it, positively saturated is what they call them. And sure enough, they are positively saturated. Get off there. Oops. Tap, 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 tap. Oh dear. Wow, I saturated that, didn't I? There's our moth. How cute is that? And let's get the sentiment. That's so cute. I like it. This is a very colorful card. And I'm going to put this onto this little white and then add it to the card. I think this moth is really cute. There's a lot of variety in the stamp set. I feel like, you know, you've got, yeah. Alright, now to finish off this card, I don't know, we got a lot of dimension going on already, so maybe we want to add just a wee bit more. And where did my tool go? Alright, there's lots going on in this card, and yet it's still simple in a way. So, fun way to use this. I like how colorful it is, lots of dimension and different things, lots of different texture too. So this is a fun one. I think it'd be good for a young person too. Card number 4, I'm using a white card base top folding. This is a fun pattern paper. I love these colors. So I'm going to use this side. This is the pink on this side, and put this down as a background. Now for this one, I'm just giving myself a little scant 1/8 of an inch white border, so it's gonna be tricky getting it on evenly. I think that does it. I wanted a little bit of the white, but I didn't want too much, so sometimes I do that. And then I was toying around with the die that came in the set. I'm not sure where my die went off to. The sunshine die. Okay, you remember the die. I can't find it. It's around here somewhere. I made a mess. So here is just a scrap that I cut it out of, and I ended up using it as a stencil. And I've got a couple ideas. So first I had just randomly stenciled the sunshine. Now there's also the stamp, so if you didn't want to do the stenciling, maybe you could do the similar idea with just this sunburst stamp. I didn't end up trying that. But this is really cute. I just didn't want to cut it down too much I didn't want to cover this up too much. I like this paper too much. So that's a bonus idea for a background. There you go. It started. And I ended up just doing it on a smaller scale. There's not a whole lot of the, you know, sunburst that pops through. So I thought I'd grab a scrap of yellow and pop it kind of up that way. We got just a little bit going on, a little bit random. This is a great focal point here. I'm going to put this little square onto this yellow. I want to make a happy birthday sentiment right here. I'm not sure what color. I feel like, you know, maybe I'll just go with the black. Before I do that, oh, I haven't put this down yet. That's right. Let's set this aside. I also have this strip from one of the scraps. I'm going to use this side and put it onto some white border. And we have another stamp. What is this one? Wishing you the best day ever. From right there. That's going to go on there. I think I'm going to go crazy and do it in black and hope for the best. Because I have this VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I think it should do a good job. I don't have any other black in the card. That's why it makes me nervous. But I kind of want this to be a bold statement. So let's see, friends, if it works out. Got some good coverage there. I'm going to do the top third. Oh, it's going to happen. It's a little wonky, and I like it like that. Okay. I think that's good. It really stands out. Now let's put this guy on here. Wishing you the best day ever. Alright, let's put this guy down. I gave that a second to dry because I don't want to... I'm notorious for smudging pigment ink. Beautiful. And I did leave myself just enough room for this. And my little white border is just a little bit wider. If you're wondering why I keep pulling this scrap paper in to press it down, I think even if the pigment is almost dry, your finger oils can still smudge it, and so if it gets on the back of the paper, that's fine. It'll just get on the back of the paper, but if my finger does it, it's not so fine. And of course, we gotta add a little bling, so why not my favorite little trio down here. I've got 3. How about a large pinky purple one, a tiny yellow, and what's this one? A tiny red. That works. I love how sunny and happy this card is, and this background actually reminds me of sunset because you got the blue up here, so I think it works out pretty well. What do you guys think? Now for our 5th and final card, I again have the card base. I have a little card panel here. I could have stamped right onto this. Actually, maybe I will. This isn't stamped perfectly. I forgot about that. So I do need this guy. And where's my example? Sometimes I'll try out an idea on a scrap paper, so I think that's what this is. I just want the sunshine in the corner, and you're gonna not see the bottom half anyway, so if I do a bad job again, that's okay. I just want to ink up this stamp pretty well. And then line it up. I think I want to see a lot of it, but not all of it. So we're just going to go over the edge a bit. And, oof, I got a little bit in the middle. I don't know. Let's see. I hope that's okay. Because we're going to end up covering it up. Perfect. I think this will cover it up. I have this kind of smoky red orange colored paper. This is the other side. What I wanted to do with this card is make a little shaker panel. So I have some scrap acetate from some packaging. I think I ran out of the proper stuff, so this is what I have. So I'm going to use it. And I have put double stick tape on the back. I am going to remove 3 of them because I'm going to make a little pocket here. And this kit did not come with sequins, so if you don't have sequins, it's going to be hard to do this. But you can do this card without the shaker bit and glue some of the gems on. That would be an alternative. Okay, so I guess this is going to be my top. I hope that's how I wanted it. And I'm trying to remember what I'm doing here. So I have this, yes. Let's do the bottom here. Stay in frame. So what I want to do is, okay, I can cut off the excess here. Fold this up. I don't need all this, so I'm going to trim it here. Right. Let's trim this a little bit. We don't need all this, I just want it to fold over a little, so I'm going to trim this down. Plastic is thin, gotta be careful with it. because this back is just going to be taped down to the card or glued down to the card, but I don't want all this sticking out, so I'm going to trim it off a bit. Perfectly imperfect in every way, and I didn't add anti-static powder, which might have been a good idea. Now it'd be a little hard to do. Okay, so you can see I have a little pocket here. Now this is from some kit a long time ago, and I still have it, and look how perfectly it goes with all the colors. So I'm just gonna dump, I think, this whole thing in here. And now we can seal it up. And peel off this last one. Fold it down. Let's see what happens. Cute! I like it. Okay. You know what? I just changed. I put this double stick tape on, and you know what? I'm going to use foam tape. So I'm just going to take it off and put the foam tape over the top. It's a little bit of a waste, but hey, you got to change your mind sometimes. Let's see if I can get this centered. I'm on a roll here for making mistakes. I think that's close enough. Close enough, and the shaker part is on. We have a little bit going on here. What else are we going to do to finish this card? Well, remember the dragonfly? So I have stamped this out in terracotta. And then I went back on top of the edges of the wings with the zest. So I like how that looked. And of course, I don't have a die for this guy. So it was a fussy cutting adventure. I am going to minimize my need for foam tape and just glue him mostly on, I think, to this corner. I think I need just a little bit for the wing there. So I'm going to just trim off a little. So you can see the foam tape, and the rest is liquid glue. I think I'll lead with where the foam tape ends. And if I tilt them up, most of that wing is on card surface. Here's the question. Now that I'm gluing this down, will the sequins down here still travel? We'll find out in a moment. But first, I needed sentiment, and for this card I was going to go with thank you, and I kind of want to incorporate both colors. So these, when you just stamp on top of this, ink on top of the stamp, you can see on this one, and it doesn't look like a great blend. Now you could maybe you could use the ink blenders, I'm not sure, I didn't try that. But then I just counted, there are 8 letters in thank you. So I figured I'd do half and half. And so I inked up to the N, and I think I wiped off whatever got on the K, or I didn't worry about it because it's not the stronger color. And there you go, I need to cut this out. So I think I am going to just trim it pretty close in a nice white rectangle and stick it right there. Okay, so of course, you know, we can add a little more. I think I like this little arrangement here with a medium orange right in the corner and 2 tiny yellows offset on either side. And so if you didn't understand what I was meaning with if you don't have the shaker window, you could just randomly glue some of these gems on here to do the same card without sequins at all. But let's have a look close up. This is card number 5. And of course, let's slow down a little shake for it. It's snug, but it still works. Here's a last look at all 5 cards that we made with this kit from Simon Says Stamp. A fun kit with lots of variety of things and styles, I think. Which one is your favorite? Is there a new technique to you? Got any suggestions for how to use the items in this kit? These are upside down. I love to hear your comments and thoughts and ideas, and I think it keeps our creativity flowing. Thanks again for watching, and as always, have a wonderful and creative day. Bye!